Hello, my name is Mark Eldridge. I'm the CEO and founder of ALKU. ALKU is a big supporter of the mentoring movement and a big supporter of mass mentoring partnership. I am also happen to be have the good fortune of being the vice chair of the Mass Mentoring Partnership Board. And as part of our commitment to mentoring, every year we select a scholarship recipient, and I am very thrilled and proud to be sitting here with this year's scholarship recipient, and I will let her introduce herself now.
Hello, my name is Nellcie Bodden, and I'm this year's recipient of the ALKU scholarship. I'm a senior at City on a Hill, and I'm so happy to be here with Mark today. So the first question that I have for you, Mark, is I know you've been in this mass mentoring partnership for a while now, and you serve as a board member for the organization. So can you tell me what inspired you to be a part of this program because mentoring is great. It's impacted me greatly, and I just want to know what made you want to be part of this.
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Nellcie, and I'm happy to talk about that. First off, being able to see firsthand how mentoring played a part in someone's life and your story is just so inspiring for me, and I know the same for the other employees at ALKU. Personally, I had the good fortune to many years ago be a mentor, and I saw a young man go from sort of unsure of himself, scared, not really knowing which way to go, and become a confident young leader. And I know that wasn't all because of me. I know it was because of a whole community throwing their arms around him, but to play even a small part in that was just so inspiring. And it got me thinking. At the time, ALKU was starting to have some success, and I started to think about, well, one person helping another person is powerful. What can a bunch of people do to help a lot of people? And that's when we started getting ALKU and the weight of the employees of ALKU behind the mentoring program, and to see, as I mentioned, the stories like Nellcie and countless others that we've seen gets the people at ALKU really excited. And I think the last thing is that good mentoring is a lot like good leadership, right? You have to be a good role model. You have to really care about the other person. And there's a lot of correlation in the business world between good, solid business practice and being a good, responsible mentor, and even a mentee who can help and teach others just by being there and asking the questions and depending upon those answers and interactions to progress themselves.
I completely agree with you, because even though I'm not a mentor, I feel like somehow my role as an older sister plays kind of role, like how you're trying to explain, is I'm trying to be a leader, showing him what it is he should do, and also guiding him through his process, because he's younger than me, and I feel like he looks up to me, and I feel like that's the same role my mentor plays to me. So I completely agree with what you were saying.
I guarantee he looks up to you. I mean, why wouldn't he?
So, Mark, you created an ALKU scholarship in 2015, and last year you awarded $30,000 to an exceptional high school student, which is me. And I know that part of my Mentor's Project core mission is to connect stakeholders, including young people, to maximize positive outcomes. So how does this scholarship accomplish that goal?
Part of our thinking, we've learned a lot about how to help and how to be a good corporate citizen through this experience. And one of the things that we learned is that there are going to be people who come through mentoring programs who have, because of what mentoring has done for them, or because of the skills that they possess, or because of their standing in the community, or other factors, that maybe there's opportunities that are opening themselves up just because of the virtue of who they are. And yet there's other people who may be just as worthy that don't have the chance to get those opportunities. And I think that's really where we saw a chance to help, is how can we identify people who are smart and driven and worthy of so much more, and have already set themselves apart, and just at a young age overcome adversity, and give them just a nudge on that same direction. We realize we're probably not changing the direction, but if we're enabling and helping to play a small part to get them up just a little bit, that helps to get a better foothold on that next level, like, wow, it just like, I know that I see it every year when we get together and award the scholarship, and I look around and see the faces of the ALKU employees and how some of them are, close to tears. Some of them have that gleam in their eyes, and some of them are outright bawling with pride. Like, it just makes me know that we're on the right path. And then to see you, Nellcie, and your beaming face, and it's not the first time that I've seen that same reaction, and that's just, it becomes one of the bright parts of my annual cycle of things that the company's involved in. And I really can't imagine us doing anything that would mean more. And while $30,000 I know can be a significant contribution, I look at it as an investment that we make in order to get a chance to feel some of that pride.
And I can attest for the team, because like when I had the last Zoom meeting with you guys, I just felt like I was winning more than just a $30,000 scholarship. It's like I felt like I now have like a team just like rooting behind me, and I'm just here for it.
Yeah, well, you got a whole bunch of interested spectators who are so eager to see what you do next. And we know, already you've got some great things happening, and I look forward to talking more about that in a minute.
Okay, so my last question for you is, what advice have you received from a mentor that made a positive impact in your life?
So I've been really fortunate. I've had a lot of mentors along the way, and a lot of people that have taught me some really good things. And when I was young, my grandparents would live with us during the winter, and I remember my grandfather would always say to me, whether I was working on homework or breaking the backyard or whatever it might be, my grandfather would say to me, take the time to do it right, or make the time to do it twice. And at the time, like when I first heard that, I was like, that just means I gotta work more and extra, and I just want to get this done and go do fun kid stuff, right? But like that has hung with me, and it has been a really, really important part of, I think, who I am today. And the other thing that I learned along the way, and this was in a business world, that I had a mentor that really helped me a bit, but I saw how he treated everyone, and I saw that no matter how high he climbed, no matter what he did, that treating everyone with respect, no matter who they were, just made him look better, made him be better, and made people respect him more. That I realized that no matter who I am, like, everybody is worthy of my time. And it doesn't, like, there is no line that needs to be drawn about when or who or how or why. It's just all of us in this together. And every time I've ever tried to help somebody, I get way more out of it than they get. And it's just because of that attitude, I think, that was taught to me at, fortunately, a relatively young age.
Wow, I love that saying that you said your grandpa taught you.
That's a good one.
That's definitely going to stick with me now.
Good. Well, see, that's how this works, right? That's how this works. So, well, Nellcie, great questions, and I'm always happy to talk to you. And I'm eager to ask my questions of you and find out a little bit more about you. But I want to brag a little bit about you for a second, in that I had the chance to read your application and know some of your story and some of the things that you've already had to deal with, which are far beyond what most people have to deal with through their lifetime, let alone by the age of looking at their senior year in college or high school, right? So the fact that you've already done so much, and just recently there's a little bit of news that came your way that I think, before we even get to the questions, you should share with everybody.
I'm okay. So recently I have been admitted and I have committed to Columbia University, class of
Wow.
2025.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you. And what are you planning on studying there?
So as of now, I think I want to major in political science with a concentration in sociology.
Wow. And so you talked about this a little bit already, but can you just describe like what impact has winning this scholarship, like tell me a little bit about the emotional reaction and the impact it's had on your life.
So I'm starting off like when I was doing the application, I'm not pretty sure if it was before we had the whole lockdown or after, but it was a pretty complicated time, being at home locked up, just everything through a screen now. It was a little bit hard. And I just feel like when I just got the email from Maddie about the scholarship, she didn't directly tell me about it. So I was kind of nervous when she said, "No, see, we have another Zoom meeting." I'm like, "Another Zoom meeting?" And then I joined and I saw everyone. And it was just like, I'm like, I think this is some good news. And when they said it, I was just shocked. It was like that moment where I felt that push, in the midst of everything. It was like a good news, a light, like kind of like a hope that things could work out, and things did work out. So it was, I'm just so happy.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I love hearing that. And I know that you have big plans for your future. Why don't you share with everyone what you're hoping to do with this Columbia University education that you're about to receive?
So as of now, I think I'm interested in human rights, but as a political science, I became passionate about that major specifically because of things that I've had to deal with, like in Honduras, in my personal life. Like the government back in Honduras is not fair to the people, and I've seen how they implement these policies and these laws that are not made for them, and it hurts me seeing that my people can be treated in that way. So that's why I wanted to go in that major, and I want to be a lawyer. That's my number one goal for the future, because I'm just passionate about it, especially when I did a moot court competition. I was supposed to go to nationals, but then coronavirus happened, so I couldn't go. But I was just so passionate about advocating for a person who wasn't even real. So I'm just like, imagine what you could do for like an actual person. And it just inspired me and motivated me. And I feel like I can get a lot more done. In New York City, it's one of my favorite cities, and I'm just so excited and I can't wait.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's a great story. And that was part of the reason that your application stood out, is that your message was really more about, not why Nellcie deserves and consideration, but what Nellcie is going to do for others should she be fortunate enough to get consideration. And it was that humility and that drive that really caught our eye. And boy, you just characterized it perfectly in that response. So Nellcie, we're just so excited to watch what happens in your future. I know you've got two great mentors that have been helping you along the way and rooting you on. And I know from my conversations with them that they could not be prouder of you. And so congratulations on everything that you've done, and what a treat to be able to talk to you here today. So
Mark, you mentioned my two mentors, Ken and Arvin, and I just want to say that thank you to them for just being there for me through these last 2 years. And it has been an exceptional journey, and I'm just so glad to have them on my side, and the whole ALKU team just rooting for me, and just being that person not that person, but persons that I need, taking me on to the future, and just watching me accomplish all these things that I have planned that I will accomplish with everyone's help. So thank you.
Oh, that's great, Nellcie. I know everybody's really excited to watch that happen. Good for you.
I am too. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Nellcie.